Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Today, the session is about setting up your local development environment, by which we believe we can increase our coding productivity and maintain standard, and also to some of the bad habits that we do while we are coding. Okay, so that is the goal. And note is effective from today that we ask everyone to use the proposed IDE, Netbeans, and you can take time this week for installation and setup. And from Monday, random audits will be taken that if the IDE is followed for development. And the installation guide will be shared, but we don't need to wait for that. I believe you will all be able to install the what are the things said here. You will be able to install it yourself.
So please be sure that you take this training very seriously, because effective from today onwards, we will be following this for all PHP products. Okay, so we have to follow this.
Any framework, any CM, any thing you are using related to PHP, can use Netbeans. So why Netbeans is the thing that we are going to say. Okay, first of all, when we say a good IDE, a perfect IDE, it's like a Swiss Army knife. It should understand for you. It should handle everything for you. Right. So that's why they say it should be like Swiss Army knife. Okay. So what are the things that you currently using in your editor, or what do you expect from an IDE? Basically.
Auto formatting.
Auto formatting, okay.
Code hinting.
Debugger.
Debugging. Yes.
Usually searching,
Find
find
and
Find replace.
so going to appropriate functions, like how we are using
Code declaration.
Yes, code declaration.
So Visual Studio users might know about the uses of IDE, the features that it provides than compared to a text editor. So normally when we say IDE, the main thing is the source editor. It provides us some features like links, formatting as in the Navigator, and it provides the facility to refactor the names and everything. And then it should support version control, and then it should help you to debug, and then it should help you in the database management, and then code analysis, like say checking the syntax, and it should integrate with the browser so that you can run it from your IDE and check the rendered HTML, since we are developing a web application. So this is the expectation that we set before selecting the IDE. Is everyone accepting that, or is there anything missed? Okay. So now IDE, Netbeans is the chosen, and the slogan is the smarter and faster way to code. And it is an Oracle product. It is open source and free. So it supports multiple languages. Initially it was owned by Sun, and it was owned by Sun, so they used for Java development and everything. So then it supported PHP, and the latest 7.4 version they are supporting HTML5 app development also. And it has a very rich community, so you have a lot of plugins to use from there, and cross-platform support. So Mac and Windows or Linux, even Solaris. And customizable, since it is open source, you can, if you know Java, and if you are willing to add any PHP peer supported package to be used within Netbeans, you can write your plugin and you can attach to it. So this is the small intro to Netbeans, and starting with the source editor, it provides all the features any other text editor that we currently use. basically I starting the career I used Notepad++ initially, and then it didn't give me the option to search the Explorer and Navigator option, so then I used Genie. So after that, back then I started using Netbeans. So in this Netbeans, it provides all the features. Some of the important that we use frequently I have listed here, and still it provides many more. So starting with the Project Explorer, so we will see a side-by-side usage of Netbeans. Okay. So Project Explorer is nothing but this window over here. Everything is project based in Netbeans. It is not file based. It's not opening a new file. Everything is project based in here. So here you can see it provides in the admin center. In our project we have different kinds of folders. I mean setups like. So in this it will be easily differentiating as like which repository I am currently working in. Like if I am working in the bug fixes, it will show me the tag over here. So I won't easily get confused because all the folders and everything will be similar, right? So sometimes we may get lost, like where in which folder I am. So it provides this feature, and you can click it here and you can search for any files, like. So it will take you to the that file. And adding a project in Netbeans is easy. Like basically we will be using adding a project from existing source, because everything we will be checking out from SQL and we'll be using. So and also remote server is also supported, but mostly we will be not using that. Adding an existing source, and then you have to give the name and everything. So after done, you can change your configuration setting anytime over here. So in your local host entry, you will have put an URL, right? You have to give that URL over here, so that while debugging, it will trigger this URL in the browser. So every settings over here are project based. Project different. So for each folder, you can have separate configurations. So this is Project Explorer there, and the Navigator. Navigator is this window over here. This will be very helpful. It lists all the declared methods, classes in that file, variables. If it is a CSS file, like you can see all the rules CSS in the file. Similarly for JS, all the objects and methods will be listed over there. So it will be useful for you to navigation within the file. Okay. So next one is the this is the go to file, go to symbol, and go to declaration. The three options are available. Like if you used to like currently if you are working in this like if I want to see this C widget, just click on control and selecting the widget will take me to that where it is declared, and then any variable like wherever the current function's declaration is made, it will take you to that. That is the usage of the take to declaration.
If there is another like 5 different files, like if I'm writing a class, like writing from the other.
You are extending another class.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will show that also. Like it will show when I will come to that hierarchy, I will show that if this will differentiate the functions that are overridden from the parent class. So it will help you in defining that. I will show. Like if you see here, if I want to see where this function has been declared, just clicking on that will take you, because it is here only. Okay. Even if you select the PHP defined standard function, it will take you to that place. This is the array underscore merge is a standard function. Okay. And then highlight usage is as of in any text editor. If you click on the variable, it will list all the usages in the current file. And then code folding. Code folding is it will folds the code for if selected a conditional snippet, like if condition and or a function. You can fold the code as of your wish. Like if you see here, these options are available over here. This is to minimize your to get more visibility into the code, so that will be helpful. By default, you can fold them or let them view. Okay. And then cover with is a useful feature. So for the scenario that I used to use is if there is a statement and you want to check insert a try catch for that, just selecting that statement, like it will provide us with a hint as surround with. So it provides some default options that we can surround that statement with, like else, do, else, function. So this is a try catch over here, and it will insert the syntax for try catch over the statement. Okay. And then palette is the option that we can use when you are working in the view file. That if you are going to insert a table in the view file, you don't need to write the structure for that. Just selecting here, they provide some default options here. Selecting the table, they ask for how many rows and columns needed. So selecting that, you insert the code for it. And then code completion. The code completion is like it will understand the what are the classes that is included in the project, and then if you are typing any class name, and then it will list all the public accesses that you can access with that. So that is one useful code completion. And if you are typing any variable name that is already used in this function, it will suggest you to use that variable, so that you don't need to type that variable again. So these kind of features are inside this. Like there is a domain list array. So I will list the that array used here. Now also, if you are need to use any super globals, you don't need to type, just putting star, it will list all the super globals that you can access. If you want to go E specific, so even here you can see what are the accesses that is accessible to E thing. So it will be useful for you to understand the framework that you are working, basically, what are available. So here you can see this for every function it will list the documentation over here. So this documentation is not limited only in this autocomplete. If you have written documentation, proper documentation in your project itself, wherever your function you are using, just hovering over there with pressing control will list you the documentation that you have entered. Documentation is also standard that we have to follow for every function, method and class. So that is code completion, and code template is very useful. Code completion is for the variables and classes that is already there. So code template is to create new one. Like if you are going to create a class just type CLS and tab will create a syntax for you. Like this. So if you are going to have a standard that default these comments should be over there and it should be some other text should be there, you can edit these templates in Netbeans like everything is configurable. So these options are provided by default, and you can add new options too, and you can edit the existing thing. If it is in class, you can add extra code to it. Like this. So every time if you are going to follow the standard, you can set the default standard there, and if you enter CLS tab, it will give that syntax. That is code complete, and bookmark is like any other by the name. If you can bookmark any place in the your project, and then you can access through the bookmarks window to quick access to the code. And then auto formatting. Auto formatting is a very useful feature. Like after the standards are defined, currently the standards are being drafted like what are the spaces, what are the like how it should be, whether it is spaces or indents, like where the curly braces should start, where it should end, and whether there should be spaces after the operators. So these kind of standards are being drafted. So once that is drafted, Netbeans will help you to auto format it. So currently, if you see. So while I am saving, you can see the change happened in this file. Initially it was not like this. So the indent is too long over here. So just by saving it, it will take that indent to the specified standard. Okay, so every configuration is easy to edit in this UI. I will show that. So here these are the default options. They provide tabs and indents, alignment, braces, blank lines, spaces, wrapping users. So every change that you make, you will see the live preview over here. So it will be easy for you to understand how it works. Okay. And again, these settings are project specific. So every project, if one is E and another is a Drupal project, you can differentiate project specific settings. And then is next is check syntax. It understands the PHP thing, syntaxes. So whenever you make any mistake over here in the syntax, so it will show a green, and it will let you to save, but it will show this green, red marker over there. So it means there is a error in the syntax. So it will. So by this it will show you avoid the fatal errors that can occur with PHP. Not only PHP, you can see here a lot of markers over here. So if you drill down, you can see that it will even understand the less syntax errors and CSS errors. So it is a quite powerful thing that you can use. But if it is high, you can still hide it. And then hints. So hints is the thing that we currently use. That everything that is shown over here as hints, it will hint us what is wrong with that line. And also in this code folding feature, there is this feature you can see over here. Like if there is a very big conditional statement. So that is the hints. So it will provide us the hints over here. You can navigate through hints over this markers over here. So it will be easy for navigation. And advanced search. So advanced search is the all searches that all the text editors provide. So normally we will be using find and replace in the editors that we use currently. But find and replace will provide the will search all the strings also. In here you can also search the usages. Like if I am going to select this variable, I can use this find usage. So it will search only the variable where it is used. Oh yeah. Okay. And if I am going to select a function, based on the context that we are selecting, it changes. So if you see this function is inherited over here. So it will show where are these functions used and find the overriding methods of it. Selecting a class also based on the context it changes. Okay, so this is the difference between find and replace and finding projects and replacing projects is the default thing that we usually do. It will include the string searches also. It will search inside the strings also the given text. So this one will, based on the context, it will search. So that is find usage. Another all editor provided features are also here. Okay. And then PHP hierarchy view. So it is nothing but if you see in this oops file, like if you want to see the hierarchy of this file, selecting this go to navigate and PHP type hierarchy. So it will provide you with the hierarchy of this. So that is nothing but the C widget is from base controller. And base controller, so navigating, you can see that I am easily navigating from here. Okay. C widget is from base controller and base controller is from C component. C component is from. So it will be easy for us to navigate. Hierarchy in this file. And then the browser down is nothing but it is also part of this navigator window. So whenever you run this project, the HTML rendered through this execution will be listed here. It is nothing but when you open the Firebug, the HTML elements will be listed there. So it is similar to that feature. Without going there, you can work within the editor's IDE. And all these settings and configurations in Netbeans that can be exported and imported within the setup. Like once set up in your team, you can share it with your team, or if you can commit that it is a zip file actually. So you can have that in your code base, in your repository, and then you can set up whenever it is needed. Okay, so this is all about the editor part. So this is if I have missed anything, you can ask. Any doubts?
Yeah, suppose you want to include a folder, you can include there will be like the include project. So if you want to include a folder with the HTML, CSS and PHP, or you can include it directly all the files together, or how you want to do it. Like you said, we have a project.
Yes.
In that project we will be having multiple files.
Yes.
So we can include it. So I was trying
Just adding project, it will understand what file it is, JS, PHP, any file format it will accept. Even accepting file formats also, they have the configuration over here. They have it somewhere. Files, yeah, you can see what the files that you have to access. So it will understand by itself. Just adding, you will just need to add the project over here. Just create a new project.
I have not created a new project here. I have a previous project.
Yeah. Project is in Netbeans. You are creating new project. The project is based on an existing source, right?
No, suppose previous projects I'm just now I'm a new person in the Netbeans, like newbie in the Netbeans. Previous projects I have, and I want to include those projects here. Old projects which I have not created in Netbeans.
Yeah, that is how this has been created. Just adding them. See here. This is what you are asking, right? Add from existing source, right? Just scan for the folder. Which one you have to add? Okay. Since I have added everything, it will not allow me to add. Like if you see the factor. Already it is there, so it will not allow me. But it will just out of the box you can add it.
Karthik, what about debugging?
Yeah, we will see. This is just editor part. Okay. So this is all the editor features, and next is the code analysis part. Okay, so in Netbeans in latest 7.4 version, they provide this code analysis. Before that also there, but with the help of a plugin we are using. But in the 7.4 version code analysis, after I was using, I felt that is not that much efficient. But an existing plugin that is there since like more than from 6.0 version, that is more useful. That is PHP CSMD version plugin. So that plugin will help us in analyzing the code. So what it does is it will integrate Netbeans with three packages, peer packages. There is code sniffer, mess detector, and copy paste detector. So these are all peer packages. So if you are using XAMPP, they come by default. That peer will be there. So these code sniffer, mess detector, copy paste detector, you should install them separately. These are all separate packages. But if you want to install it by one command line, you can do by adding a PHP QA tools. There is a site called phpqatools.org. What it does is it has some 9 peer packages to it. So you can, if you install them, other peer packages will also install. Okay. So after installing them, pointing the IDE, after installing the plugin and these peer packages, what you have to do is just go to that configuration settings. So under this PHP, okay, first of all I will show how to install plugins. Okay, so tools, plugins, always check for updates. You may get any new plugins. So in available updates you can search which is related to PHP. So there are some many available like PHP formats, many things are available. So many I have installed already. So here you can see I have installed the CSMD plugin. Okay. So this is how you have to install plugins in Netbeans. And after installing them, what it does is it will add these configuration options to the PHP tag. So what you have to do is select detect. By default it will detect the back file inside your XAMPP. If it doesn't detect that, select that and go to XAMPP. So if you have installed peer, so it will have that bat file over here. See, there is a bat file. So after selecting, you can test the settings whether it is the correct one. So it will test and say whether it is the exact one. So I have changed some other thing over here. So that is why it is. So by default it will detect it. So copy paste detector and mesh detector and code sniffer are installed. So basically what they are is code sniffer is a package. It detects for violations in the coding standards. So they call as sniffs. We can write custom sniffs that it is a PHP script that will check your PHP script whether the correct standard is being followed, like whether correct spaces, intents are mentioned, and the standard formats can be customized. So by default there are package sniffs are available like peer standards, and even E2 standard is available, and there is Zend standard. So if you are going to define a standard, we can create a custom sniff and then we will install them in our code base. So it will check for our code violations. So similarly, mesh detector is also a kind of sniffer, like it will detect for bugs or dead code. Dead code is nothing but an unused code in your code base. Okay, and then very long conditional checks or over complicated expressions inside them. Okay, and copy paste detector is if you are using a like there are two controllers like similar kind of same variable name and everything. If you just copy pasted and copy and pasted there, it will show these two looks similar. Okay, so that is a feature it provides. So how to use them is after installing them, it will provide this icon over here, this scan icon. So scanning them on the whole folder will be very time consuming, because it will go every file line by line. So what you have to do is which file you are currently working. Like if I am going to work in this file, just select this file and scan. So what it does is it will open a new tab over here and it will scan for this file. Netbeans another feature is like everything is drag and drop. You can drop any window anywhere, like you can drag anything and you can place it anywhere. So anywhere you are comfortable. Like they currently showed an error. So this is the output of this detector and everything. So here you can see the missing file document, missing cache document, missing function document. Can you able to see? So and there is a standard. So here you can see this line, this minute red line over here. So the standard is defined that each line should not exceed 85 characters. So whenever the line exceeds an 85 characters, it will show this warning. Line exceeds 85 characters. This line is having 130 characters. So clicking on them will take to the corresponding error line. Okay. So these standards can be defined with can modify it, because if we feel these some of the errors are annoying, we can turn them off and we can have which is needed. Okay. So this is the code analysis part. So what is planned is this code sniffer can be hooked with the your version control commit message. So whenever you are going to commit, this code sniffer will be triggered and it will check for violations. If there is violations, it will not allow to commit the select file. So once that is violations are solved, it will be able to. So that is the important feature in code sniffer. It supports SVN and Git as of now.
Can you force commit that?
Force. Yesterday, done, I think so. He said it is possible to force commit. I think there will be. It's yet to be implemented.
You said it will take time to check whole project line by line.
Yes, we shouldn't.
If it is integrated with SVN, how it will be?
Good question. Like, if you are saying if I am going to commit in the whole file project folder, it will take huge time to. Yes, we this is like we didn't implement it fully. This is just feature provided by Sniff. We'll see that. Okay, that is the code analysis part. So next we will see about the version control integration. So currently Netbeans supports CVS, Subversion, Mercurial and Git. So we are using Subversion and Git currently. So version control is a very important feature. Like you can see over here. Currently, the feature that I use always is this notification over here. You can see this wherever the file is changed, it will always compare with the repository and your local copy with every line which is changed. So whenever I am going to work on this file for a long time, I will do continuous changes many times, and so then I feel like what was there in this code, in this line before. I will get a feeling that then I will click this and I will see what is this. Because otherwise what we will do is we will go to show log and we will see what was there. So this will ease us in that. You can see what was here before, and then you can just, if you want to revert it, just you can click it to revert it. So this is a useful feature. Blue means there is modifications, and green means there are new lines added. Red means existing line has been deleted. So these are the things. And another integration is like in your project explorer, you can see this blue symbol over here. That means there are modifications in this folders. When the files are new, it will show that these files are new, yet to be added. You can commit the file from anywhere. It will provide all the features of your version control inside the Netbeans. Like anywhere from the file, you can go to the subversion, and then you can ignore this file from commit, and then you can update the file or commit the file. You can check the diff. So this is a very useful tool for checking the diff. From Tata is SVN diff, this one will be more, we can understand what is happening, what is the difference between these files. This will show the line coverage also, so it will be more useful. So for analyzing, this will be very useful. And, so from folder also you can access this. You can revert modification and do anything. And this is these are all the features allowed by your version control, and the main other main feature is this local history. So this local history, what it does is every time I save a file locally, it will take a snap over. So apart from your version control, there is another additional breakpoint or what is it? Point, that checkpoint. So without committing, you may be working for more than 15 minutes or 15 saves or anything. So within that, you can check the version and you can revert back to and fro. So it is a very useful feature.
Is show the SVN's latest version of the file or the last updated file in our system? It will compass with the latest version of SVN or SVN?
The latest updated one.
Latest updated one or SVN?
Latest updated one. How that is how version control works, right? Until you update it, it doesn't check the repo, right?
Both options will be there. You can compare with your base version and you can compare with your latest.
Yeah, it is there. Basically it is there, but when you select this revision over here, it will list from the updated part, right? You can see here. This is the updated one. But if you select a file, it will show where to show the diff from base or repository. Okay.
By default, this application takes back when you use it.
Yes, whenever you say that.
Say I'm closing a file.
It will be there.
It will be there.
Anytime. It's like a local, it is a classic version control. Before this version control existed, it was functioning like this. Okay. So on the demerge tool, Netbeans provide is also a useful thing. Like if you see every changes, this demerge is easy. Just clicking on this arrow will easily merge changes to the existing file.
The JIT integration is a plugin or
It's a plugin.
it's a plugin, right?
Yes. I have installed both Git and Submotion. So if the repo is Submotion control, it will automatically detect it is a Submotion and it will provide Submotion action items. If it is a JIT repository, it will automatically provide JIT action items. I have installed both the SVN and JIT. Since this repository is SVN controlled, it is showing the SVN action items over here in this menu. Okay. So the inline modification highlight is the thing that I showed, that notification that show before the lines, that blue color if it is modified. So it is a useful. And then key map for action items is a very useful thing. So every time you don't need to go for action and everything. Every action item is can be mapped with the keyboard shortcut over here. Like if you see Submotion action items are here, you can add a keyboard shortcut to it. If you need, you can. So this is the version control part. Is there any other doubts? And there is one drawback I saw in while using this is taking like small folders and committing them is somewhat fast. If you go for the project wise whole commit, it is taking time. Some normal time more than tortoise SQL. But if you select from folder inside the changes, it is easy. So that is the one drawback I see. Okay. Any other doubts? Okay, the next feature is the database management using Netbeans. So normally what we do is we go to browser and PHP admin and we will access the database, right? So without that we can work within the IDE itself. So currently it supports Java, DB, MySQL, Oracle and PostgreSQL. So it provides features like Database Explorer and SQL Editor to run your SQL. And there are features that are more than PHP. So access database. So in services tab you will see this databases. So here you can connect with your MySQL DB. So connecting MySQL server is easy, like selecting connect. So you create this. I want to disconnect from here. Since I have already created this connection, it will ask for the password. Just entering that. So it lists the databases inside that. So default database I have given admin center, so it is giving it. So it provides other DBs also. So all the tables used on procedures will be listed. So this is the SQL editor. So this one we just selected the data, list all the data. So once after my admin, what we will do is if you are going to put any condition like where the UID is equal to 0, we have to write a query over here. But what it does is once the query is generated over here, you can auto search here. So this will be very useful for you. So it is random check, like just 2014 will give this over here. Some randomly you can
It says error in SQL syntax. If you remove M or something. After execution of that. After execution you can say errors.
And what it does is it will have this SQL history. So what are the queries we have run already will be saved. So it will be very useful. You can set how many queries that it should save. Very important. And if you want to update so if you want to update this column, what I will do is just go here and 0. So it will not change that column. What I have to do is I have to commit this change. But if you want an SQL for that, it will generate an SQL for it. So it is welcome pop-up. I have changed 1 from 0, so it will generate an SQL script. So if I commit, it will insert that, it will change that. Or I can do it. Okay. So, and also you would have come from there another file. So just clicking Alt and left arrow, it will take you to the file that you are working with. Navigation between the database and your editing will be easy. So this is the database management using IDE. So any other feature you want to know in this?
I think you connected the local DB, right?
It's locally.
Can you connect a server DB?
So I haven't tried this, but I think we can, because this is just like any other driver. I think we can. I think we can. Okay, so this is the main thing, debugging. Okay. So in Netbeans, we are going to use along with Xdebug. Okay, so Xdebug is nothing but it is an extension. Okay.
Quantity is here?
No.
No?
So have anybody seen debugging in Visual Studio? Yeah, you right. So what are the features that you do in that in your day-to-day coding debug?
So breakpoints, we have live watch, we have on the air, immediate compilation, and you can see the call stack, and
Step into step before.
Step into step over.
step, yeah.
So these all features are provided by Xdebug for PHP development. So along with Netbeans, it is easy for us just in UI you can do that. So we will see the breakpoints, variables, call stack, and we can see the output and browser integration. We can see that, and it is powerful with Chrome Netbeans connector. Netbeans connector is a Chrome extension. So with that it will be more powerful. And what Xdebug does is it will create a profile. Xdebug is a debugger and also a profiler. So it provides and it will have a catch grained output. So using Win catch grained, it is an application, free software. So we can install that and we can get the output of that profiler and we can do the analysis. So we can see how it is done. So for example, I am taking this company selector. Okay. So here you can see that I have set breakpoints over here. So setting breakpoint is easy, just clicking on the line number. So after installing, so installing debug is nothing but you have to install you have to add an extension, DLL extension to your PHP folder and enable that in your PHP INI file. So we'll provide the installation, the settings that you can add to your INI file. So it will enable the debug. There are a lot of DLLs available for example, but some are not working with the versions. Like what are the most of the versions you are using? XAMPP versions. Mostly 7.4 values. Yes. So the version that is working with that DLL is available, so we can share with that. Okay. So after installing, so it will provide this debugging port. You can add settings to it. Watches you can enable. We don't want stop at first line. We don't want that, so I disable that. Okay. So debugging is I have set the default browser. I have installed Netbeans connector and also with Chrome, so I can select which browser it should trigger for debugging. I have selected it over here, and then select debug project. Okay. Selecting that, so I actually working dual monitor. It will be more efficient if you have that debugging in one watching. It will be more useful. So here you can see the browser has written and you can see the green line over here. That means that it has stopped at that breakpoint. Okay. So when it is stopped over here, there are other features that you can see, like what are the variables that are declared over here. See all the super global variables here, and you can see whether the session is started over here or not. What are the values set in the session? Everything that you can check over here. Okay. and then you can go for to continue. You can give continue. It will take you to the next breakpoint. So in this currently I have given breakpoint in this function called get domain selector list. So in this place I need to know what is happening in between get domain selector list. So what I have to do is just step in. So it will go into the domain selector list and it will check what is happening. So here I have created a watch. Like watch is nothing but it is a live watch that you want to know what the status or any condition checks to that state. Like what I have given here is I want to know whether this aggregate list array is array. So I have added this script over here, just this array or anything. So it will return whether it is true or false. Okay. So apart from that, you can hovering over that variable will also show you the values assigned to it, or you can see it here. Okay. You set up this, okay, you can, so step into is this. You can what is happening is it has come inside this function, right? So step out is it will skip what is happening here, and then it will go back from where it came to the next line, next breakpoint. And the step run to cursor is nothing but you place a cursor over there and it will take you to that. Another thing is while debugging you can edit the current value. Like if you see this domain org level value is here, right? So what you can do is you can change the value on the fly itself. Like, so every time the loop is running, checking the condition and it is saving, right? So if you change the value to okay. Change. I should have done it in the before line, okay. But it is possible you can check it. Like if you change the value on the fly, it will change and it will proceed with that value. Okay. This feature will also be like useful for you to learn about the framework. Like if you want to know what is happening within this. When e-app session is working, what is happening, you know, you can it will be helpful to learn. Like if you for this session you can see what is happening. User items. It is going to the e-base to the e function. Sorry, app function. So this is another like drawback. This is when you go for a long debugging session, that is more than 5 minutes. Maybe. So it is it will crash. It's legal. But this is only when you can see like I am running lot of processes over here. This is just to check what is the performance of this. So a lot of processes kept running. So only when next debug is running, your process will slow down. It will take some resource. Other than that, Netbeans will not consume that much resource. Only while boot up it will take resource. other than that, your RAM will be consumed, process will not be consumed. So you can debug anytime and you can watch the features that I have explained now. So here we have. So after app, so it will show you the process happening. Because after app, it will take you the component as component. So in E, what are the functions happening while you are calling session? It will take you. So the Netbeans connector is the browser plugin that I have used. So see, you can see here. So this the Netbeans connector. This will be helpful. Just they have provided this various size resolutions. So not only this when you connect with this Netbeans connector, like. So what happens is you can see your browser, all the features that is available in your browser debug, like in your Firebird, like all the like all the URLs hit from the current execution. And I used another important feature is the call stack. So the current call stack is the place where you will see. So you can see where the current execution has come from. Path, right? So from where all the functions have started and from where it has come. So this will be helpful to analyze. Okay. This is the call stack. And breakpoints can be enabled, disabled, and the variables that we saw now. And watches, you can create any watches and you can see, check the value or anything that you need to do. And the network monitor is all the requests that are made from this URL, this execution. So finally, this current debugging session will create a profiler output there. So we can watch the profiler output using this WinCatch client. So the configuration you would have set where the file should be saved. So here you can see which function has taken much time for your execution. And which function has run much times. You can see here some of the functions are run like 123 times, like 29 times. So this will be helpful for you to, if there is, if in some place your code has, the application has plotted somewhere, you could easily narrow down where which function is taking much time. And then inside that you can analyze where is the problem. Okay. Here you can also see all the functions, PHP functions and your user-defined functions or EE-defined functions. Everything being listed here. So this is the profiling. Any doubts in this?
not the plugin.
Yeah.
It's inbuilt or plugin.
Which one?
Debugger.
Xdebugger is not inbuilt. It is a separate extension. So for CSS development, if you are developing the dual monitor, you will be able to see. If I am hovering over here, the browser, how it happens in the so how it happens in the debugger, right? If you select an HTML element, it will highlight this part, right, in your browser. It will do a similar thing when you do in your Netbeans. If you highlight it over there, that element, it will highlight that part in your browser. So if I am doing here, it should highlight over here. See here, you can see that part is being highlighted back. Are you able to see? See, it is highlighted, right? It is showing the view header, return number. I am hovering in the Netbeans, so it will trigger in the browser. While you are using dual monitor, it will be useful. And also, if you select that element, it will list all the applied styles to it. Here you can see what are the properties applied to it. Applied styles from which file it has been applied. And adding files, CSS also is easy to list all the properties. You can see all the properties listed here. If it is applied, the value will be there. It will be easy for you to code. Similarly, how you debug in your browser, okay, for CSS. So this is debugging, and also in latest 7.4, it also supports JavaScript debugging. It has some JS test driver that hasn't yet been implemented. Once that is done, maybe we can share that. Okay. So that's it with the debugging. Any other doubts?
Can I
So
please?
anything I have missed from this Visual Studio feature?
No, I just want to make a from scratch demonstration about this debugging.
So you want
How to integrate
you want
it to
like
the
simple form and that run flow. So breakpoint you have to keep the breakpoint here. You want to see the
No,
how
no,
the
how
debugging is
to
happening,
install?
right?
Yeah, how to install? How to
That
integrate it?
installation guide we will share that. It is nothing, just you have to, it is a PHP extension available, you can download it, and we will share that documentation, installation documentation, and also the DLL needed. Okay, so it is easy, you can do it by yourself, but we will share it.
Whether we want to use 7.4, actually I'm having 7.3 currently.
Netbeans supports multiple instances. You can install other versions side by side. You can use your existing version.
There is E plugin in 7.4 version. So it will be easy for you.
So that E plugin, what it does is, if you are using an include widget, right, inside that you will add a syntax only, like ext dot application.ext dot some any widget, company selector, right. It will be only syntax. String. The E plugin, what it does is, if you select that, it will take you to that widget. So it understands E frameworks. So that is the difference. That the added feature of E plugin. So that's it, and so that's why we are preferring Netbeans is a good idea, because what we saw is source editor, version control, debugger, database management, code analysis, and debugging, browser integration is all available here. So And also this is like when you experience this, you will there are a lot of many more features available. Like if you're for simply if there is a string with the single quotes, just selecting the string, and if you type double quotes, it will change to double quotes. Otherwise, what we'll do is change here and then go to end quotes, change that. So like that, minute features are useful for you. Small enhancements. So those are all useful. So while using, you will be able to experience, which we feel will increase your productivity and also maintain the same. So that's it. And the cons are takes about 900 RAM, 900 MB RAM. Like you saw. And only boot up is slow. Other than that, it doesn't slow down. Normally we don't shut down, right? So once you start and if you go on with that, it will be smooth for you to work with that. And prolonged usage of XP crashes sometimes. It is very rare. This today it crashed, right? Yesterday it didn't crash. So it is randomly it happens, but. Because I have enabled both profiler and debugger, normally we will not be using profiler, only when analysis we can use it. Okay. Debugger by default it will reduce some and SQL commit is taking much time than .SQL. So that is the changes in cons. Okay. Any other questions? Everything is like customizable. If you don't like the color, white color, you need black color, you can go and change the color.
So before going to this Netbeans, do you analyze any other IDE compared to this, like seen about IntelliJ?
Like what we saw is Komodo, Sublime Editor. These are all editors only. Eclipse I use in my system. What we saw is Eclipse is little slower than
Eclipse is slower because
and
they use
some
for
plugins.
development.
Plugins are stable in Netbeans. This is full open source community supported. This is supported by Oracle, so somewhat more stable than Eclipse. So other than that, no other best competitor.
Actually, we have PHP in Visual Studio also.
Yes.
So if you install a plugin, you can use PHP in Visual Studio.
Is there debugger available?
But it is not customizable.
Debugger?
Yes, debugger is there, but you cannot customize like how you
Like
customize.
this. So that feature is not available.
But if suppose you already were using Visual Studio, you don't need to go for Netbeans, you can use Visual Studio itself.
This auto formatting, everything.
But we have a
The
different
main thing is
frameworks.
like whenever any coder goes to look into another one's code, the formatting, everything should be same. We should easily get into the code. That is the main
Yeah,
feature.
that,
After formatting,
coding standards
has been defined. We will be
based on the
sharing that.
frameworks.
Yes.
So
So
all
we have to
so
customize.
all the projects are going to use this.
PHP.
Yeah, so all PHP projects are going
Yes.
to use.
Yes.
Can you show the first slide?
Which one?
Auditing is going to
This is, that is the first one.
effective from up to date.
So, all are very comfortable with it or not?
Yes.
Or is there any point that my existing editor is better than
After
is that
purely for web development.
is that proprietary, like is that paid?
It's fully open source. It's built on Eclipse. It's extended from Eclipse and purely built for web development. So all of the features you showed here, it has everything, but except the database.
Actually, we need
And also main thing that I missed is once TTD standards are defined, we'll be having another session on using PHP unit along with Netbeans. So in that we'll so that is an important feature Netbeans provides, like creating test skeletons. It will create a skeleton test script for your classes, and then it will support code coverage. So it will be very useful for you to run unit tests and to support TDD. It will be very useful. So once that standard is defined, what we are going to do, we'll have another session on using Netbeans for TDD. Okay.
So we are coming up with the TDD sessions next week. So now we are standardizing all the development work so that it's helpful for you as well. So any problem, any problem you find while installation, you can reach out to Pankaj. He is the head of this training program as well as the implementation and the audits. He will be doing the random audits the same way we are doing for SV, and you may not be aware of it, but we are doing it. And the same way Karthik will be auditing whether we all are using it or not. So please use it, it's for your benefit.